Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Old Hockey Podcast. My name is Sean, alongside David Galley. We're here. This is episode 17. Galley, we had a good week of All-Star festivities, good weekend of All-Star festivities. A lot of funny stuff I feel like that happened over this week. I feel like the NHL, we'll get into it, but I feel like they did pretty well with the All-Star game this year, opposed to the past and how they've been doing. But before we get into that stuff, Galley, how was your weekend? What'd you do? Where would you watch in the game? All that fun stuff.
I watched most of the All-Star festivities just from my house. Um,
Yeah.
I was a little bit bummed. I thought the draft did really well. I thought they did that really well. It was kind of weird that it was on the ice. There was some
Yeah.
cringe moments for sure, but
Mhm.
skills competition, I was just really bummed because my winner was Jack Hughes, and he didn't even participate in the skills competition or
Yeah.
the actual All-Star game. So Um, shout out Jack Hughes for not doing that. It made me look
Yeah.
stupid, but, I thought the game itself was, like, probably the best 3-on-3 All-Star game I've watched.
Yes.
I just
Yes.
watched it all from my house. Didn't do too much on Friday and Saturday, went out on Saturday night. It's pretty, feeling not so well on Sunday, but had a hockey game at 1:30 PM to shake off that hangover, so
What
it's
else
the
to do?
typical
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon game, but,
Yep.
yeah, didn't do too much about it. Just it's Monday now. I just lost some money on the Leafs money line because they always seem to lose when I bet on them. So starting off the week strong with
Yeah.
NHL. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
man, how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Yeah, I didn't get to watch the draft. I was at work that night. Um, so I didn't really get to watch it. Obviously saw a lot of the clips and stuff. Um, and yeah, I mean, Friday night, watched the skills comp, thought that was fun. Saturday was a pretty chill day. I didn't really do anything this weekend, a whole lot of nothing. Um, We yeah, it was a pretty chill weekend, I will say. It's the first weekend, like, in the house where I feel like I was kind of, moved in, so
Yeah,
I just kinda took it easy. But yeah, I thought it was a good weekend, good All-Star break. A lot of fun news for us to talk about, which I'm excited about, so let's get into that. First
100.
thing, your Calgary Flames. Why don't you go ahead and start this off with this Blockbuster trade that just happened?
Yeah. So Calgary Flames are in a. I know I've been talking about this, my little mini segment of the Calgary Flames every podcast, but they're in a tough
Yeah.
situation right now. Both cap space and just aging players. They have a lot of players too that are like contracted into their mid 30s. Let
Yeah.
alone if Lindholm were to sign an extension, he probably would have been extended pretty long term. No, he wanted to stay with the Flames, but yeah, everyone already knows because it happened about 5 days ago. But Elias Lindholm got traded to the Vancouver Canucks for Andre Kuzmenko, first
Mhm.
rounder, conditional fourth rounder. Hunter Bruce Swetchwich. I don't know. I'm totally butchering that name. And I think everyone is.
Yeah.
He's a stud though. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
And Johnny Germo, who's a Finnish defenseman. So just starting off, I'm gonna say the Calgary Flames absolutely won this trade. Um, like swept house. I can't believe one, they got Kuzmenko out of this trade, who's pretty young. He's coming
Yeah.
off of a 40 plus goal season last year. Struggling a little bit, but he's under a new head coach this year.
Yeah.
So that has a big factor, I think, for his success. And some players don't play well under certain coaching styles, and hopefully that's the case here. Hopefully, this isn't another Jonathan Huberdeau situation where he
Yeah.
starts just epically failing when he gets to the
Yeah.
Flames. But
Yeah.
that would be classic Flames. But the fact that they got a first round pick, they got a defenseman that some people are labeling the next Adam Fox, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let alone he's playing in the OHL, so he's not going to college. He's going to be in pros probably next year. Um, he's going to be, vouching for a spot, an NHL roster spot next year. I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? I mean, we can see if his play does transition to the NHL, but he's stellar in the OHL. He's
Yeah.
point per game player. Let alone they got a first round pick of this upcoming draft. This is a really strong draft, I believe, and deep prospect pool. And I think that's going to really benefit the Flames in the future as well. And then Johnny Germo, who's, I think he's kind of not spoken about as much in the trade deal, but, that's just adding another defenseman. He's playing in the top Finnish league right now. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Mhm.
It could benefit the Flames extremely though, because Lindholm doesn't have, there's nothing, it wasn't a sign and trade deal. I mean, Lindholm
Yeah.
doesn't have to sign back with the Canucks.
Mhm.
I do know the Canucks are going to be really trying for the Stanley Cup. After
Yeah.
that trade, they're definitely a contender, probably the contender in the West right now.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the Canucks do in the playoffs because I mean they don't have the best track record in the playoffs in the past since like they went to the Stanley Cup final back in 2011.
Yeah.
So
Burn
it's
their
gonna be
city down.
interesting how it's gonna be interesting to see how all this plays out, and
Yeah.
we're not gonna be able to see till this summer because I mean, shit, think if the Canucks don't do too well in the playoffs, and Lindholm could walk somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. What's your take on the trade though?
I mean, I think for both sides, I mean, I don't think it was even at all. I think the Flames definitely got a lot of, you know, future stuff that is going to help them out a lot. Um, I think for the Canucks, though, I think it was a smart move for the year. That short term rental. Hopefully, they can keep him though. I mean, if they're able to win a cup this year, then I say it was good on both sides. But if they don't win a cup and he walks, they're messing up their future. And I feel like right now, like we said in the beginning of the year, this is their time to prove it and win. And they have been doing that recently. They've been doing well.
Yeah,
Um, but they need to maintain that and hopefully or not, I don't know. I just think that if it doesn't turn out for them in the playoffs the way they want it to, it's going to be considered a loss and a pretty big loss to give up that many first rounder picks or how many picks they gave up and future prospects that they gave up too. Um, I think it's tough. So we'll see if it pays off. I think the Flames are in a pretty good situation where, like you said, you don't want to keep someone around who's not going to sign with you in the summertime. You may as well get them while their stock is high versus, I don't know, getting rid of them later or just letting them walk in free agency, which would be worst case scenario. So it's like they did a good job on that. It just comes down to Vancouver. If they can finish, then it'll all pan out for them.
yeah. And one of the biggest things I see is Vancouver's capped out right now. They have no cap space at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to be making too much more moves. One thing that came to mind when I'm looking at their roster and their cap space here on capfriendly.com, uh, Elias Lindholm and Elias Pettersson, they both expire at the end of the season. There was some talk about Elias Pettersson getting traded at the beginning of the
Mhm.
season and last offseason. So that could potentially be something to keep an eye
Yeah.
on. Pedersen could walk. Not saying he's going to. He's an RFA, so they have
Yeah.
exclusive rights to him. But if he does end up walking this summer, Lindholm probably would fill his spot, which isn't that bad of a replacement, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that could be what Canucks management's doing. I think there's probably going to be a lot of behind the scenes talks between the Pedersen's agent and Canucks management, and
Yeah.
probably nothing the public will know until something does happen. But I mean, just scenario if the Canucks get out first, second round, Pedersen walks, they have Lindholm to sign. So um, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I'm really happy as a Flames fan. I think the Flames should keep doing this. I think they should trade Hanifin. I think they should trade Tanev. Um, I mean, they should clean house of
Yeah.
everyone. I mean, they're in a tough spot right now. I mean, the only thing that I don't know if they should do is Jacob Markstrom. I think Jacob Markstrom could get a huge haul right now. They
Yeah.
got Dustin Wolf in the pipeline too, and Vladar. I think those are two good goalies.
Mhm.
They're not yet NHL starter caliber, either of them,
Yeah.
but Jacob Markstrom could get such a big haul. Chris Tanev, such a big haul. Hanifin.
Mhm.
I mean, they. I think the Calgary Flames are probably the biggest team to keep an eye on in terms of before the trade deadline because they're going to
Yeah.
be very active,
Moving. Yeah.
especially in terms of this past trade. I mean, Elias Lindholm was one of their best players in the past 10
Yeah.
years for the
Mhm.
Calgary Flames. I mean, Lindholm, Gaudreau, Kachuk, they had such a good line for
Yeah.
multiple years. Gosh, I really miss having those three players, but it's heartbreaking to see those
Yes.
players leave. I mean, it was
Yeah.
heartbreaking to see Lindholm leave, but to see what we got back, I'm like, let's go. And
Yeah,
Kuzmenko, let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. No, I think you
So
guys are in a good spot. But yeah, I think, like you said, last thing I'll say is I think they just got to keep cleaning that house and getting rid of some of those assets that they just don't really are going to need them long term. I feel like that they're kind of towing this line of like rebuilding versus just mid, like we said earlier. I think they
yeah,
just need to commit to the rebuild and just kind of not completely clean house, but yeah, essentially get rid of a lot of the fluff that they have right now and start that rebuilding process. Because like the worst thing that could happen is that you just keep delaying it, and you're like, well, maybe we can push this year or this next year, and then you're like the Sharks did. Um,
yeah.
you're just postponing the time that you're going to need to rebuild that team. So hopefully they
What
turn
would
that around.
you yeah, what would you I guess we can just do this real quickly. What would you
Yeah,
give the Canucks a grade for that trade? And what would you give the Flames a grade for that trade?
the Flames, I'd give them like an A plus for that trade. Canucks, it's hard because if it doesn't play out, it's an F. If they win a Stanley
Yeah,
Cup, it's an A. But I'd say like time being for what they have, I'm gonna give them like a B minus.
sure. Yeah, I'd say for the Flames, I'm gonna go with A, solid.
Yeah.
And then for the Canucks, I'll go a little bit lower. I go C,
Yeah.
just for right now.
Yeah.
Because that is they gave up so much. I mean, at
They
first,
did.
Kuzmenko, one of
Yeah.
their best D prospects for you know just
Yeah.
a rental for this season
Yeah.
potentially. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting to play that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the next topic.
Let's
I'm
see.
stoked for this next one.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna talk about All-Star. Oh, wait, no, we're not. Sorry. We're gonna be talking about the Olympics because guess what? We got some news. I think it was right before the All-Star game that Gary Bettman, head of the commissioner of the NHL, talked with the Olympic Committee, IHF, all that fun stuff. And they have officially announced that at the next Winter Olympics, which is 2026, they're going to be allowing NHL players to compete. Which, I mean, we talked about this, I think, in our wish list for the NHL, I want to say. So got that.
Thank you,
But
Gary Bettman, for
yeah,
granting
thank
our
you.
wish.
Yeah, Santa Bettman came through a little bit late. Could have been on Christmas Day, but we'll take it.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
pat
still
pat
here.
ourselves on the back. We
Yeah,
we got
yeah.
that
He
wish
probably heard us.
coming to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally,
He
dude.
was he
Bettman's
was
probably
like, "Oh,
listening.
what are these guys talking about on their hockey podcast?" And like, "Oh, they want NHL players in the Olympics, so we're gonna listen to them." So we're gonna take credit for that because I think that we had a helping hand in getting those NHL players into the Olympics. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we'll see what those teams shape out to be in those next 2 years. I feel like, I mean, we're gonna have. It's only 2 years from now, but I'm like, I mean, I'd feel like Bedard would be playing on that team at that point. I don't know that Sidney Crosby would be playing
I know that's
at
gonna be
that age.
interesting. That's gonna be interesting to see because I mean, shit, that's gonna be Crosby's. He got snubbed in the 2006 Olympics, but that's gonna be Crosby's third Olympics, which is pretty legendary. I'll say
You
one
kind of
thing.
like,
This is what?
yeah, go ahead.
No,
I'm
you
just
go
saying, like
ahead.
about Crosby. About Crosby, like I don't know. How old is he now? 36, 37?
He's born in '87, so
Oh God.
it's
Hmm.
37 about. I think he
Okay.
turns 37 this year because I actually share the same birthday as Sidney Crosby.
Oh, do
I'm
you? Okay.
stoked about that. I have a crazy
Yeah, that is
birthday.
cool.
It's 8799 is like my
Oh
my
shit,
birth date. Yeah, so I got
dude.
Sidney
Crosby
Crosby on
and
one end
Gretzky.
and then Gretzky on the other.
No.
I know.
Damn, you're destined.
Once I figure that out, I'm like, I gotta play
Yeah.
hockey, dude. Fuck all the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
sports.
Is that why he's number 87 because of his birthday?
It is because he's August 7th, 1987.
I
Pretty
did
pretty
not know
cool.
that. Yeah, that's a fun
Um,
fact.
and then Gretzky's was because his favorite player was Gordie Howe, and he didn't want to
Yeah.
be number 9, so he put another
Oh,
9 after it.
yeah, yeah, and history was made. Yeah, but so
But
we'll
yeah,
see if Sid does that, and if he plays. I just feel like at that time he's gonna be what, 39, almost 40.
yeah.
So
I mean, dude, he's having a pretty good season right now.
he
I
is.
think he's
Yeah.
100% going to play, especially for the legacy and
Yeah, yeah.
Sidney
He'd
Crosby.
be
Just like I think
yeah,
he might be the to this day. Even I don't think McDavid. I think McDavid could get there, but Sidney Crosby is the smartest IQ hockey player. I mean,
yeah,
defensively, offensively. I mean, It's
Yeah.
crazy
No,
when
he's
they mic him up,
yeah.
he's, like, coaching everyone, and he's been
Yeah.
doing that since, like, he was a fucking in his teens. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
this guy is, like, a coach and a
Yeah.
player, like, but
Coach.
he's
Yeah.
put in captain form, so it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive, but, yeah, I think Crosby will make it, but I think the Olympics coming back, one, like, shout out Gary Bettman for doing this. I know fans have been begging for this to happen for the past 2 Olympics, and I'm so happy because, I mean, some of my favorite memories were growing up were watching hockey in the Olympics and seeing
Yeah.
Team Canada versus Team USA or Team Russia versus Team Canada or Team USA versus Team Russia, so I'm really excited for those rivalries. I think it's really cool that the NHL is also doing a Four Nations tournament in 2000
That would
or
be cool. Yeah.
2025 next year. So
Yeah.
that's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be replacing, I believe, the
All-Star.
All-Star
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be awesome. However, the only villain I have to pick with that, they left out Czechia, which is disrespect.
Wait, so
David Cross.
what are the 4 teams then?
So it's USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden, which is
Oh,
historically not accurate. Obviously, Russia,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
leaving them out for everyone knows why. But I
Yeah. Yeah.
still don't think they should do that just because Canada versus Russia is like such a long-term storied rivalry
Yeah.
in international
Yeah.
hockey. Like
Yeah.
I think they really snubbed Russia in that, but also Czechia. I mean, Czechia
Yeah.
has David
They have a great team.
Pastrnak. They
Yeah.
have great NHL players year in, year out. So I think leaving them out is super tough. But,
Yeah.
regardless, I think Olympics coming back or NHL players being in the Olympics is going to be so cool for the next Olympics. Next Olympics in Italy, which hockey's not that big there, and France.
Yeah.
So that's going to be opportunities for those countries to see NHL
Yeah.
players in action. So it's
NHL.
going to be
Yeah.
really
No,
cool.
that'll be cool. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think this might cause some angerance, or this might cause some frustration with our neighbors from the Great White North, but honestly, I think that Team USA is gonna whoop Canada's ass. If we look at this 2 years in the future, I truly think that. I mean, we've got goaltending, we've got them beat. Let's just pull up a mock roster right now.
Yeah, I'd say that comes down pretty even to their forwards and deep, but then Team USA has the obvious advantage for goaltending. I would even go as far as saying they have that for defense too. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's too obvious, but I mean, it's hard to say because you got McDavid, McKinnon, Bedard potentially, and Crosby in the top 6. I mean, if
Mm,
Crosby makes it, that's fucking terrifying, man. Like, I
it
know you
is.
got Kachuk, you got the Kachucks,
Hey,
you got
this
Matthews, you got
is
Hughes.
I have 2 rosters pulled up. This is a projection, right? So this isn't final. But Team Canada, first line, Braden Point, Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner. Then Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Connor Bedard, Jared McCann, Steven Stamkos, Carter Verhage, Dylan Cousins, Ryan Nugent Hopkins, Mark Stone, and then some subs, Zach Hyman, Robert Thomas, Josh Morrissey, Cale Makar on D, Thomas Shabbat, Jacob Chikrin on D, Shea Theodore, Dougie Hamilton on D, Darnell Nurse, and Evan Bouchard on D. That's for Canada. The US, see, okay, we got Matthew Kachuk, Austin Matthews, and Brady all on a first line together. Jason Robertson, Jack Hughes, Jack Eichel, second line. Third line, Kyle Connor, Dylan Larkin, Tage Thompson. Fourth line, Johnny Gaudreau, Matty Beniers, Clayton Keller. Already in the forwards, I'm sorry, but the depth on Canada's team is not as good as the US. Let's go to D. Quinn Hughes, Charlie McAvoy starting first 2. Zach Werenski,
God,
Adam Fox, Jacob Slavin, Brett Pesce, uh, Jake Sanderson, and Luke Hughes. So D maybe a little bit even, but those forwards, like, I'm sorry, you can't say that that third line for Team Canada with Dylan Cousins, Nugent Hopkins, and Mark Stone is going to be competing at all with Kyle Connor, Dylan Larkin, and Tage Thompson.
yes, yes, I can kind of agree to that, but I
I
do
haven't even
think
gone over
Steven.
goalies yet.
I know. I do think I think you're leaving off that Stamkos is elite. Stamkos is
He
elite.
is.
He's elite, and I'll say, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I kind of agree with you that Team USA has more depth.
Yeah.
However, the top 6 for Team Canada is lethal, man. You got Braden Point, Connor
Yeah.
McDavid, Mitch Marner, Connor Bedard, McKinnon, and Crosby. Like I'm sorry, but that blows the top 6 for Team USA out of the water. I mean, in terms of
Uh,
experience,
yeah.
I
You
mean,
give it 2
seriously,
years. You give it 2 years. Stammer is gonna be old as shit. McDavid, McKinnon, they're gonna be obviously in their primes as they already are. And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, feel like the top 2 6 we got fucking Jack Hughes, Robo, who's gonna be a little bit older and more experienced, Austin Matthews, who's gonna be fucking scoring 100 goals in a season or some shit. The Kachuk brothers who are gonna be older and more experienced. Like, I just feel like this Team USA team, let's go into goalies because goalies, I feel like it's a clear win right there for us. We got
Yeah, yeah.
Connor Hellebuyck and Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight, give him a couple years. Uh, Fucking Canada, their starting goaltender is Aiden Hill. Now I know over the playoffs, Hill stood on his head, but I'm sorry, that was just a lucky run, and you need that. To win a Stanley Cup, you need a goaltender to be on a hot streak, and that's what the Knights had. But I don't think he's gonna be in the level of play to be the number 1 goalie
I
this
know
year.
they're gonna need another Luongo or fucking Carey Price. I mean,
Yeah,
those were their goalies when they
yeah,
won back-to-back gold medals, and um, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be that's gonna come down to the goaltending
yeah,
because I think both their offense and defense are, you could toss it up. One is
yeah,
better, maybe the other is better, but yeah, I mean, right now for what the projections show, I think it's a close game, but I think Team USA would come out on top.
yeah.
However, I mean, it's just hard to count out McKinnon, Crosby, Braden Point, and McDavid. Like those are, I mean,
Mm,
between McDavid, Crosby, and McKinnon, that is like a plethora of NHL awards from Art Ross to Maurice
yeah,
Richard
but Crosby's
to
gonna be a dog.
points.
He's gonna be old in 2
Dude,
years.
I think Crosby might break Yager's games played record. Like,
He could.
Crosby's fucking ridiculous. He's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
aging. He's not aging, and he hasn't shown any signs of aging. He hasn't shown any signs of injury. He
yeah,
knows how to play in an NHL game
he
smartly
does.
and, like,
He's gonna be a great leader, I will say that.
yeah,
He has to be captain, he better be captain. He was the one that won them the gold medal against us last to, what, 2012?
2020, yeah.
Um, so, I don't know. I think my red-blooded American self is really, really
Eh,
probably a little bit biased about this Team USA roster, but like I said, depth matters, and especially with those kind of tournaments where, yeah, you could have a rock star top 6, but I don't think that Jack Hughes in a couple of years is gonna be far off from Mitch Marner or Braden Point. Like, I truly don't think that. I mean, those guys are going to get more experience. Like Jack Hughes, we forget, is a year younger than you and I. He's 23 right now. 2 years, he'll be 25,
fuck, dude.
26. Yeah. He's born in 2001. So he's still very young. Um, I mean, Bedard's going to be what, 20 years old playing the Olympics, which is going to be crazy. And he's going to be a star. Um, But yeah, I mean, time will tell. We'll see how it pans out. But for right now, what it's looking like, and if Dustin Wolf on the Flames kind of breaks out over the next 2 years, he could be another goaltender on that Team USA team.
That's a dark horse pick right there. I don't think
He
that's on
could be.
anyone's mocks, but I
No,
mean, yeah,
no.
dude, totally. I mean,
I mean, he'll be 26.
I think saying Johnny Gaudreau is a stretch. I think if you said that 2 years ago, he's automatic top 9 player on Team USA.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
what I'm really excited for too is like these 2 teams gotta play each other. I'm gonna be so mad if they don't.
yeah.
But
No, they
it's
better.
going it's gonna be a ruckus, dude. I mean, the
Yeah,
Kachuk brothers on one line is gonna
Ooh,
be
yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. So I'm beyond pumped for the 2026 Olympics.
yeah.
Like, I can't wait. I
I
cannot
just
fucking wait.
I thought of one more thing because looking at this bottom six that they have, these are rock stars in the making. I mean, Cole Caulfield was a name I forgot to mention. Cole Caulfield's gonna be legit in 2 years. Matty Beniers, I mean, he won Rookie of the Year last year. Clayton Keller, like, he's lighting it up for the Arizona Coyotes. They don't really have much right now, but he was an All-Star. He seemed great in the All-Star game. Tage Thompson, another dude who's gonna I mean, he almost got 100. I think he had a no, he didn't break 100 last year, did he? He's had a rough year this year, but this bottom
Pumped.
depth of the Team USA, we've got Will Smith for the Sharks. Who knows? He could be a fourth line center as an American. But like I said, time will tell. We'll find out. But I'm going to go with the Americans on that. And
Yeah,
if it
yeah.
started right now,
Right now I'm gonna say Americans too, but
yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be a blowout.
No, 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 no. I don't think so. But I think the Americans are going to just shock Canadians in general. I mean, we had a like for what was that 20 was it 2012 that we played them when Crosby, or was that 2008? The golden goal.
Uh, 2010 in
2010.
Vancouver.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that's right. 2010. Like the fact that USA was in the gold medal game to compete against Canada already says a lot where USA hockey has come, and I think it's only going to get better. So we'll see. I mean, obviously, Canada's or hockey is Canada's sport, but I don't know, man. I have a feeling about these Americans and what we can do to these
Yeah,
pesky little Canadians, those little fucks.
yeah.
But
I don't think we've won a Olympic gold medal since 2002. I want to say. So it's
yeah,
been. I could be wrong about that. I don't think it's 1980. I think it's 2002.
who won in Sochi? I think they did win in 2000. That was with like Jeremy Roenick, or was that the 98 Olympics?
I think it was 2002. Let me just see. Let me just back
Didn't we
check
do a
myself.
story on them?
Yeah, I no, we did just yeah, kind of. But no, that was on 1996 or
Okay,
1998, pardon me.
8, yeah.
No, Canada won. Yeah, so the US has
Mm,
not won since 1980, which is pretty
wow.
crazy. Yeah,
See, that
that's
would be
a
an
solid 44 years as of
yeah.
today. That's fucking crazy, man. The US team's gotta pull this one off. At least one of the next two Olympics, or else fuck, man. We
Yeah.
can't go for 50 years. That would be ridiculous.
No, that would be crazy. Yeah, we gotta get some. Damn, it's been that long. Holy shit. And even those kids weren't even NHL players, so it's hard to like, we
I
haven't
know.
really won with NHL players, so alright, well, we haven't even gotten to the Olympics or the All-Star game yet, so let's jump into that. We spent a good amount of time. I'm excited about the Olympics. We'll see as more stuff breaks, we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll see within the next year or so that we can see a roster being put together so they can start practicing and stuff. But All-Star weekend. First up, we'll talk about the draft. Like I said, I didn't really get to watch it a whole lot. What I did see though on the internet seemed to there were some cringe moments and it was just kind of like awkward and uncomfortable. And I feel like that's just the nature of hockey players. I There's not very many charismatic hockey players besides like PK Subban. Um, maybe David Pasternak's pretty
Trevor Zegras.
charismatic. Zegras, yeah. Yeah. A lot of the younger guys, like I feel like Cole Caulfield. But I mean, the superstars like McDavid, awkward as shit. Bedard, awkward as shit. Jack Hughes, awkward as shit, even though
Dude,
he's like,
even Matthews is a little awkward too.
yeah. And I feel like it's just, they're probably trained too with media and I don't know. But there was definitely some awkward moments, but I feel like they did a good job. Um, Still kind of really upset that they, like some of those players, just like Tomas Hertl being there. I love the guy. Great Sharks fan. I love him as a player. I just don't know that he needs to be at the All-Star game. But what were your thoughts on the drafts?
So I really like the format that they did. Obviously celebrities. I thought it was really cool how they just did a draft in general. I mean, they haven't
Yeah.
done that since 2015, 2012 or something like that. So it's been a while since they did that. So I think that is really cool concept and I'm glad they carried out with it. I think there could have been better execution. I thought it was kind of I mean, I know a lot they packed that house for the draft because it's in Toronto.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I wish they would have done like a stage style because in the past they've done a stage style and it was like players walked up, but instead like all these players just like had their skates on and shit, and we are like, it was just kind of strange to me, and
Yeah.
like the Madonna mics too. Um,
Yeah.
I wish it was more like set up like an actual draft, like the NHL drafts, NFL draft, NBA draft. No one is like on a court or an ice rink, like they're all
Yeah.
dressed up nice. I feel like that kind of pushes the players to show their personality a little bit more. So I wish they did
Yeah.
that. I still thought it was cool. Um, I thought it was fucking crazy how some people were under the influence
Yeah.
during the
Oh my
draft.
god. Yeah. So those of you that don't know, I don't know how you didn't see this, but Michael Bublé said in some post-game interview, he was like, "Yeah, the friend uh told me that this was a microdose, but it is not a microdose." And Will Arnett, the other celebrity team captain, just like looked at him like, "Dude, like what are you saying right now?" And yeah, under the influence of mushrooms is pretty wild to do, especially if you know you're going on a public stage like that. Like, shit, I mean, to each his own, I guess, but
Hey,
that's insane.
he's got nothing to lose though. It's Michael
That's
Bublé
true.
or
Yeah,
Bublé,
he could
whatever
do
the fuck
whatever.
you say.
Yeah, he could honestly. I mean, that man puts out Christmas music like it's nothing, and he, he's yeah, he's a pretty popular guy, so it's not like that could really damage anything. If anything, I thought it was funny. I mean, if people
Oh, so funny,
are
dude.
offended by it and they're like, "Oh my god, like why would you say that? Blah blah blah. Why are you doing mushrooms?" It's like, fuck off, really. Like, I thought it was funny him being on
No.
like on the influence like that, and in an interview too to say that, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I hope they keep doing this style draft with celebrities, and
Yeah,
I think next year, I hope they do it off of skates. I just felt like it was just weird how they were
yeah,
doing that. Players were
yeah,
skating out to their team.
yeah, yeah,
Um, you just get better reactions when they're stuck in a room together. Not
yeah.
even a room, like, they could have done it at the rink, but they could have maybe
At
blocked
least
off
made a stage or
a
something. Yeah,
quarter. Yeah, something
yeah,
something along those lines. Um, just because I was like, "What is this? The skills competition or actual game?" When
yeah,
they had skates on,
yeah,
when I put it on, I was like, What's going on here?" But,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's crazy about Michael Bublé. Um, pretty legendary, though. I think that will
Yeah.
go down in all-star history, probably
Oh
for
yeah.
all sports.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I had people that don't even watch hockey text me about it, and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna talk about that on the pod?" And I was like, "100% we will." Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, moving on from the draft, we're gonna talk about the skill comp. So this year, um, like we talked about last podcast, they did it a little bit different than last year. I thought they did better than they have in the past with the skills comp. It's always fun to watch. I felt like the passing challenge was a little boring when I was watching it, and I had some friends that they were like, "I could do that," and I was like watching some of the players how they were missing. They were saying that they could do it, and I was like, "Sorry, no, you can't." Like, one, they're probably nervous because they're on a big stage like that and trying to compete against each other and fellow, you know, all stars. They're also in front of a bunch of fans, and you had players like Kucherov just not giving any effort at all,
I
which I
love that.
think was funny. I think it was funny, and he played into it with the crowd. The crowd was booing him, which I also loved. I thought that was funny because 'cause they're like, "You know what? Like, damn it, we paid a ticket here, and you're gonna literally just do nothing. You're the points leader in the NHL, and you're just gonna float around during this passing challenge. Like, what?" Um,
Such a Kucherov move.
yeah, it was hilarious. And then he got, what was it, the day after during the All-Star game? I think he had a shootout or something, and the entire stadium was just booing him during the shootout,
Yeah.
which was funny. But yeah, I thought it was good than last year. I thought the prize money that McDavid had come up with was really smart. Gives him an extra, you know, thing to go after. Obviously, he won the skills comp and took his own. He pretty much paid himself
I
for
know.
looking at it like that. But I mean, I could tell immediately. Like you can tell some of the other players are there to have fun. McDavid was there to win, and you could tell,
I know. Totally. Totally,
which I
dude,
love.
and
I mean, that's how it should be. It's a competition, and he's a competitive guy. So
he is
it was
so
funny to see that.
competitive. It's
Yeah,
crazy to see McDavid 'cause, most of the players are kinda, like, fucking around, "This is not a game, this doesn't mean anything."
yeah,
McDavid's, like, serious, and I'm
yeah,
like, "Damn, this is pretty sick." Like, you don't see
yeah,
that in a lot of other, like, all-star competitions in sports. The
yeah,
best player is, like, Mr. Serious, but holy shit,
yeah,
that just shows his competitiveness and his drive in the sport of hockey, and it's pretty cool, but there were some pretty funny, uh skills, whatever,
yeah,
runs, whatever you call it, from
yeah,
each
yeah.
player. I mean, I thought Kucherov's was hilarious. I thought Dreisaitl's was very
Dude, that
fu
one.
like,
He
what the fuck,
Yeah,
dude?
he couldn't hit a single shot, and I don't know what that was. Like, I don't know. I feel like I could have done better than that, at least.
And then what was,
Shoot.
it was in the last competition, there was someone that had to get more pucks because they were, like, totally butchering
Oh.
that sauce challenge. Who was that? Did you see that?
Oh, was it Matt Barzell?
Yeah, it was definitely Barzal,
Yeah.
dude. That was, like, embarrassing. That was I
Yeah,
had secondhand embarrassment to watch
I
that,
did
but hey, I
too.
mean, I
That's like
probably wouldn't do any better.
yeah, no, the sauce challenge, that'd be so tough, especially when you're timed and, like, you have so much like, I say that I could do the shooting challenge, but I if I really think about it and I'm out there with NHL All-Stars trying to if I was by myself in a garage, I could probably get it in, I don't know, 8 pucks at the least. Um,
Bull.
yeah, I mean, hitting all 4 corners in the net? You can't hit 4 corners in the net?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd say 8 pucks for myself. I'm
Come
dust, man.
on. 8 pucks? 2 try well, we'll say 10.
Yeah, I think 10 would be wise for
In a
myself.
garage by
We should we
yourself, your
should
own
we should
setup.
maybe do that. We should
Ooh,
maybe yeah, I think that would be
little
good.
creation. I got a net. We just need to get they sell those little phones. I used to have them as a kid. They had, like, little phone things you could connect to the posts. We should totally do that. I'm so down.
Yeah, I'm super down.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought the skills comp it was a lot of fun to watch, especially towards the end too when it was like that final competition. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean McDavid won what 3 out of the 4 competitions he was competing in.
Mhm. Yeah, I knew he was gonna win, and getting that mill it would've been nice to see him donate it to charity or something because he's the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
second now.
yeah, yeah, second one of the highest paid players in the
Yeah,
league. It would've
yeah,
been kinda cool if he did something or maybe gave it to his players back in Edmonton or something. I mean, I
mm,
don't know. I saw a bunch of
yeah.
people complain about that. Good for him that he won. Um,
Yeah, but you don't know what he did with that money. Like he didn't say it publicly, but I don't know. He could be donating it and he's not like loud and proud about it like
that is true.
some people are. We don't know, you know. But yeah, I enjoyed myself that night. It was fun to watch. It was a good length too. It was 3 hours, um, about the regular length of a hockey game, so it was fun to watch. Enjoyed it a lot, but the game the next day, I thought was even more fun. I thought
Yeah,
I've definitely noticed a lot more competition than before, just in terms of, like, players actually trying, and I think they did another $1,000,000 prize for the winning team. Um, I thought that was really smart by the NHL doing
yeah,
that too. It just you gotta give them something other than it just being fun, because yeah, it can be fun for the players, and obviously you wanna give them it's a break for them to have fun and let loose, kinda play loose, but it's also for the fans, like, it's not just for the players, it's for the fans and the players, so give both sides kinda what they want, give the players some money, they'll give some competition in return, and I thought we saw some good games. I mean, McDavid's team coming back from what, down 2 goals, empty net, and
yeah.
then they
I think
tied it up.
that was within 2 minutes of that
Yeah.
first game. That was
Mhm.
pretty crazy. I also thought they weren't very high scoring games, and,
Nope.
like, usually All-Star games are fucking high scoring.
Yeah, yeah.
Even especially the 3v3, I mean, the
Mhm.
over-unders were, like, 10.5, 11.5,
Damn.
um, which was, like I was like, "That's reasonable,"
Yeah,
but it just showed, like, how much harder these players played,
yeah,
defensively, specifically
yeah.
defensively. I don't think anyone was blocking too many shots, but
No.
just, like, defensive play and defensive positioning, I think was
Mhm.
by far the best I've ever seen in an All-Star
Goaltending too.
game,
Yeah, I feel like they
yeah,
kinda
and goaltending. Like,
yeah,
everyone was trying real hard, and
yeah,
I thought that was something worth watching. It was
yeah,
fun to watch. It wasn't just like, "Oh, these players are just fucking around with,
yeah,
fucking John Scotts out there or something."
yeah.
But, no, it was a kick-ass time, and I thought that the final was, like, competitive. I was like, "Damn, who's gonna win this?" I'm stoked I put money on Team Poppy, Team Matthews,
Oh, nice.
um,
Smart.
so that was
Yeah,
nice.
for
So,
them to win, I mean, it was cool to see, their hometown team. They had the home crowd on their back with all the Leaf players. One thing I was a little disappointed in was the MVP. Now, I know obviously Matthews was a star just in general, he's a team captain, but in those 2 games that he played, he had 2 goals and 2 assists, which 4 points, pretty good. But Alex DeBrincat on the same team as him, winning team, had 2 games played, 3 goals, 3 assists, and they gave it to Matthews still. It's like, come on. I get that you're, playing towards the home crowd, but that's not what the All-Star MVP should be do, is just, like, give it to the hometown guy who
I totally agree.
yeah, like, DeBrincat had 2 more points than him, which, I mean, isn't a crazy amount, but at that point, I saw a graphic from the NHL, and they were just writing the meat of McDavid and Matthews so hard. They literally put Matthews as the first star with 4 points, McDavid as the second star with 1 goal and 3 assists, and DeBrincat at third star. He's got 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. Like, how do you do that? And it's just bias, you know. But
Yeah, that's some BS. DeBrincat got
yeah,
fucking robbed with that. I
he
think it's
did.
totally, to be fair, it's from the NHL's perspective, it's a PR thing to give Matthews the MVP. But damn, I haven't heard a lot of people bringing that up. I think that's a good point. DeBrincat
Yeah,
totally got
I guess not.
snubbed. Yeah, that's
Snubbed once
brutal.
with the MVP, and then NHL putting out the top 3 stars, putting him at third is foul. They put him
Mhm.
second, I've been like, whatever, but putting him third after McDavid, who only scored 3 points to his 6, a little
Yeah,
messed up, I think.
that's
But it's
that's
definitely a
definitely
PR move. I understand it, but at the same time, it's like, come on, guys,
yeah,
give it to the
100%.
yeah. But yeah, um, I saw a lot of some good plays. Nice goal from I think McKinnon's goal is my favorite from that pass from Sidney Crosby, like the 2-line pass, and then the fucking roof that he had. He backhand roofed it far down. It was pretty sick. There's something else. Oh, this picture here. So I don't know if you've seen this photo circling around yet, but Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. There was a photo of both Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid together at the All-Star game. Um, this was actually last year's All-Star game. I hadn't seen this photo though. It was both of them wearing those like throwback, the All-Star um what's it called? It was the All-Star jerseys that they played in 1994 at the Shark Tank when they had those star ones. It was the same ones, right? They also compared a picture with Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky with those same style jerseys on, and it was kind of cool to see, Wayne Gretzky, who at that time was towards the end of his career, Oilers legend, next to Pittsburgh legend and younger kid Mario Lemieux at that point at that time. And then fast forward, what, 20, almost 30 years, and you've
Yeah,
got Crosby, who's the legend, old guy on the Penguins, and
who
then
did play with Lemieux too for one
he
season,
did,
which is
yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah, and then you've also got Connor McDavid, who's now Oilers legend already. He's gonna be, um, always go down as an infamous Oiler. So I thought it was cool to see. Um,
Yeah, that's sweet.
yeah, it was a cool photo. I'll try to find it and send it to you. But yeah, it was cool to see that. But any other last thoughts about the All Star game that you saw or thought of? Anything cool?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it was the best one I've watched since maybe the first 3-on-3 one. That I think they did that in
Mhm.
2018 when they had John Scott.
Yeah,
I think the NHL did a solid job. I think they could have done the draft a little bit better, but um, yeah, great job
overall,
to
it was good.
Toronto, and
Yeah,
I thought it was really cool. Hopefully, one day I can check that out. Maybe
yeah.
we can check that out sometime in the future. That'd be
Next
super
year,
kick
dog.
ass.
Let's fucking dream of that. Manifest that shit. Year,
Manifest it.
yeah.
But the
Year from
one
now, we'll
thing,
be there.
yeah, the one thing that stuck out to me, which I saw a TikTok of it today. Um, Justin fucking Bieber getting, and this is from TikTok sources, okay, saying that he got approached because of his play in warmups and got offered a tryout from multiple teams, and some teams were even going as far as offering him a contract, which I think is complete clickbait. The person that did it, it's got to be
Yeah,
clickbait. I know he has a hockey history somewhat,
he does.
but I mean, shit. I saw a photo of Austin Matthews and Biebs together, and it was like it looked like a child and a man. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness, and they're basically the same age.
yeah,
So I think it would be really really cool if maybe Bieber played a shift or something. I
yeah.
think that would be really that would be
It'd be
crazy. It'd
cool.
be a lot
Yeah.
of popularity towards hockey, I think. But I think it also would be kind of bad. I think a lot of NHL players and hockey players would kind of feel like it's disrespectful that some celebrity can just hop on the
Yeah.
NHL
Get a
ice that,
contract. Yeah. Where
yeah,
there's one guy, yeah, in the minor
that
leagues who's
people have
waiting to get a
been
contract. Yeah.
100% that people have been trying to do their whole life. And I think that would be kind of disrespectful if it did end up
Yeah.
happening. There'd be kind of a two-edged sword to it. But
Yeah.
I mean, shit, think about a team like the Ducks or like the Panthers that don't have the biggest following in their markets. And dude, if they sign Bieber, like for example, if the Ducks sign Bieber, the Ducks are selling out every single like, game
Oh, yeah.
like
Oh,
for the
yeah.
rest of this year because Bieber's
A lot
gonna
of girls
be
too.
yeah, Bieber's gonna be in the crowd. He might not
Mhm.
play, but he's gonna be there and everyone's gonna know
Yeah.
it. So I think it could be a smart PR stunt, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It could be
I
a funny, like,
I don't see it really happening though.
yeah. Yeah. There's no, I mean, I've seen him play. He looks a lot like me, and I'm not very good. So I don't know. Yeah. I saw that TikTok too, and I think it's complete bullshit. And the guy was just trying to get us, and it worked because I watched the whole video. But um, I think it'd be funny if he did something like that. And I thought with the All-Star game, I thought they did a lot of there was a lot of PR that came out of it, and I think it's good for the NHL. I saw, like, just even people posting about Justin Bieber just warming up with the All-Stars, which I thought that was awesome. I think that's
Yeah,
cool as a celebrity captain, you know? Um, and again, it's people are posting about it, talking about it that are non-hockey fans because it's Justin fucking Bieber, and they're going to it, and then they're like, "Oh, no way, like, Justin Bieber played in the All-Star game? Like, what did this all like, it's just it's good PR, and I thought that they
yeah.
did. Um, I did see though that back in 2012, Justin Bieber had a contract offered to him from the AHL or the ECHL at the time, the Bakersfield Condors. Um, they offered him a pretty small deal, but the coach had said, "Very rarely do you see a combination of skill and toughness. We share a common Canadian heritage since we both hail from Ontario. I've scouted some video of him online skating with my hometown team, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I think he could provide some elusive speed up front for us. Plus, he's a right-handed shot, which we've been looking to add. I think if we paired him on a line with Robbie D and Peter Boyd, we'd be tough to beat." Now,
That's
I
wild.
feel like that was a PR stunt and a half from the ECHL, which, props to them. I think that's honestly really funny and kind of like, I don't know. I think that's funny to add and
Yeah,
talk about it and just have that out on the internet. Um, the validity of it, I don't think they were that serious about that because
yeah. I think
I
Bieber
don't
turned it
know.
down because it was Bakersfield, probably.
Probably I would too. Not really. I would have taken that, but yeah, I thought it was funny. To see that, I don't think we're gonna see him actually get an NHL contract. There's no way a team watched him skate at the All-Star game. We're like, we want him on our team.
Oh, I know, I know.
The guy's
I know from
29.
a warm up, a team warm up, like,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
sorry. Like,
Hey,
you could go to
props to the
any.
guy that made it. Props to the guy that made
Yeah,
it because I will say that is like
you got my attention.
stellar clickbait.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that had to get hundreds of thousands of views
Oh,
today
yeah.
or over
Yeah.
the weekend or whenever it was posted.
Yeah.
Just off of something he just came up with probably.
Yeah. And we're talking about it, so anyone that's listening is probably gonna go and find that video if they can. So he did his job well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for you guys. Thank you for listening, as always. I hope you guys enjoyed all the All-Star festivities. Hope you enjoyed listening to us talk. Leave us a like, comment, anything like that. Helps us out. Make sure to follow and listen to us on whatever platform you enjoy. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. If you're watching or listening, I mean, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, how you doing? You can go watch or listen on those platforms. So if you want to, I don't know, work out at the gym and you want us in your ear, going for a run or a walk, put us on Spotify, listen to us talk about hockey. Um, and yeah, we've got some fun stuff planned for the future. So just keep your eye out and keep listening to us. Gal, you got anything to say?
Not really. All-Star game was sweet. Life's been good.
Mhm.
Thanks for everyone following us. I know
Yeah.
we're getting new fans basically every day. So shout out everyone for giving us an
Yeah.
opportunity to speak to you. And hopefully next time we talk, we got some more Calgary Flames trades to discuss.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's what I'm hoping for. But we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see if that
We'll see.
happens.
Yeah. All right, guys. You guys have a great rest of your week. Be excited that hockey is back, not in NH or All Star form, but a normal game. So continue watching those, and we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
Peace.
Leafs are still losing me money. So
Yep. What's new?
later, guys.